They got you to believe that somehow TikTok was this subversive thing from the spying on you by China. So they got everybody to go, oh God, we can't have China owned our TikTok. So now let's give it to Israel and Zionists. And now they're coming after Twitter. They're coming after X in the same way. Oh, they're spreading anti-Semitic. We got to force a sale of Twitter. We got to force a sale. We got to make Elon Musk force it. Israel owns both Democrats and Republicans through AIPAC. Your content is against our community guidelines. The guidelines include rules and standards for using TikTok that apply to everyone and everything on our platform. Comment removed. Israel owns both Democrats and Republicans through AIPAC. Comment removed.
Oh.
Yeah, like back when they said that TikTok needs a new owner, that was when the whole house, right, the left and the right, agreed unanimously that TikTok TikTok needs to be dealt with. And that's what people are saying, that when it comes to issues regarding actual problems like healthcare and aid, or the issues that goes on in the country, the left and right seem divided. But when it came to TikTok, everybody, you all came on one consent to say, like, yeah, TikTok has to be dealt with, and that blew everybody's mind. Well, that right there should have actually told you that they're controlled. The left and the right are controlled. It's controlled opposition. All of it. That should have told you right then and there that is controlled by the you know who's.
I wish China was back in charge.
Here's another one. Google 61% Israeli men. They took that one down. Have you ever Googled 61% Israeli men? It's not good. If you Google it, it says that 61% consider acquaintance grape not grape.
That's a fact.
So take
Israelis.
So take they did a survey. The survey was back in 2011, but that's what that refers to. So so according to this tweet, they posted Google 61% Israeli men, and that got removed by the IDF censor. So they're censoring this, Kurt. Do you have any idea what this is about?
Okay.
So you see this? A picture of a juice box with an apple? Your comment has been removed because of policy violations. What? First they came for the juice boxes, and I said nothing.
I understand that.
I don't either.
No idea what that means.
Here's another one. 9-year-old Benayas from Gaza is sending his message to the global Samud flotilla. Visibility restricted. This video is not eligible for the For You feed because it violates our community standards. Ifran Hossan Abir says, I uploaded it to TikTok, but it was flagged for violating guidelines, allows abusive and vulgar content, but videos about Palestine is restricted. There's another one. Here, see another one? Here's another one. It wouldn't have changed anything. We would have no control. If voting worked, they wouldn't let us do it. Content can't be restored. It was determined that your content violated our community guidelines. What? It's crazy what's happening. Here's another one.
You're right. So, well, first let me say all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem HaChodash, double honors to our apostles and elders, Hurricane Millstone. Peace and blessings to the Lord's hopefully elect. So this is a sign, man, that these people are going down. They're going down. And the nature of the wicked, man, the nature of these people, okay, the victim hats, is that the truth is just too much. It's too much. They can't sleep. It makes them paranoid. And they all act the same. The moment you say something truthful, or the moment that they get under some type of scrutiny, the moment that the magnifying glass is placed upon them, the moment that people start to question their motives and go digging deep, that's when they start to squirm, because they're in trouble. Because the scriptures basically tell you that the wicked, especially Esau, Edom, specialize in hiding. And what you find out is this: they've always been like that. As Jeremiah 49 verse 10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. And this is all the descendants of Esau, Edom, except the chief of the chief as well as the small of the Esau of Edom is his son known as Amalek. And that's why when you read the scriptures, Amalek will get mentioned, such as Psalms 83, verse 5. They have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, of the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek. See? But he already mentioned Edom, but why did he mention Amalek? Because that's a special evil right there. And the methods that the wicked has, the method that the wicked use, whose working is after Satan, is it not deception? Is it not darkness? So their methods involve them doing things in secret. And as according to the scripture, they have a habit of hiding themselves. So what happens when the Lord uplifts his skirt and make him bare to the world? Now that light is shining on them, and now they're squirming, just like rats don't like the light. They don't like cockroaches. Don't like the light. Why? Because they have fewer places to hide, and this is what's happening now. Now that the Yahweh B'Shem Yahshua is revealing their skirt, this is how they're reacting. So if you say something simple as post a comment with a juice box with an apple on it, or if you say something about controlled opposition, like the voting doesn't matter, whenever they take it down, just know that there's some truth there, because why else? Why else would you take it down? Everybody knows that voting doesn't matter. Like I just mentioned, remember, I think it was this year, but remember back when they all voted together that TikTok needed to be addressed, when you got all these other issues going on in the world, but TikTok, that's how you know it's controlled. It is controlled. But now that secret is getting out, guess how they're reacting? The truth has to be dealt with in their eyes.
Here's another one. Here's James Lee. The new TikTok algorithm update is working wonders for Israel. You'll notice the last post I made before the update was a story about Trump fearing for his life because of Israel, which is up with no issues. But 2 stories I posted since have both been taken down. Okay. Wow.
You're going to be on your best behavior.
Wow.
Well, every time I see Larry Ellison, I'm so happy that guy has got a lot of power over what I can see.
Yeah.
The second you look at him, you go, wow, he's got great taste in plastic surgery and great taste in what I should be able to look at.
So Glenn Greenwald retweeted the one about Democrats and Republicans are both controlled by Israel through AIPAC. Do some research. So he retweeted it. Glenn Greenwald says there were 2 venues in the U.S. where Israel criticisms thrived: U.S. campuses and TikTok. The campus problems was solved by Trump's new hate speech codes, firing professors, and DEI for Jewish students. The TikTok problem was solved by giving it to the IDF financier, Larry Ellison.
What are you going to do about Twitter, though? He's on
So-
Twitter saying
no,
that,
they're
so we
coming-
can stop Twitter?
They're coming after Twitter. You saw
Oh, thank God.
You saw the video of Netanyahu. He said, next is Twitter.
Yeah.
You saw that? I played it on the show with Max Blumenthal.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't see it.
No, I saw it this morning, and I was delighted by
Yeah.
it, as you can imagine.
Any platform that allows people to speak freely about what's going on in the world is dangerous to the wicked and their agenda. They can't allow the truth to spread, because what they're doing is evil and their secrets are going to be revealed. So the moment someone makes a platform that's popular, that everybody likes, and people can go on there and engage in free speech and talk about what's going on in the world, they know that it spells bad news for them, because they have been found out. They have been exposed. So they move around the clock. They work effortlessly around the clock to suppress the truth. It's dangerous to them, to their agenda, and to just their thin skin. These Edomites, they're just as their father Cain, which is they're extremely fragile. The truth to them is an attack. It's an attack. You speak the truth to them, they take that, oh, those are fighting words. You just said the truth. And how much more this word? Jeremiah 23:29. Is not my word like as a fire, said the Lord Yahweh, and like a hammer that breaketh the rock in pieces? And we know that the Lord's word is the truth. So it spells bad news for the wicked, real bad news for the wicked.
Activists get more reach there than on other platforms like YouTube and X. So it would be in Tel Aviv's interest if one of Israel's supporters were to wrestle control of the platform from its Chinese owners, then retrain the algorithm to scrub genocide from our site. Larry Ellison is the founder of Oracle, the tech company. He was recently named by the Jerusalem Post as one of 6 Jewish billionaires who have become the, quote, backbone of Israel's wartime funding.
Missouri homeowners, listing your home on the market isn't the only way to sell your house.
One of 6 Jewish billionaires who have become the, quote, backbone of Israel's wartime funding. And he's now leading a group that's about to take a controlling stake in TikTok. Meanwhile, his son, David Ellison, is taking control of Paramount Global, which owns CBS News, and he's reportedly bringing in a pro-Israel journalist, Barry Weiss, to steer CBS's editorial direction. So there you have it. Israel is losing the information war in Gaza, so it is shooting the messengers there, journalists. And one of its billionaire backers is set to silence pro-Palestinian forces online in America.
That's the best way to put it. Now they're shooting the messengers. They've lost the plot. They've completely lost the people. So they're moving and acting accordingly, which is we're going to try to silence everyone. They're going to use by means of deception and force. Now this is a quote from, his name was Alexander Solzhenitsyn. He was referring to the Bolsheviks. If you don't know what that is, that was basically a time period where a bunch of Russians were murdered by the victim hats. In this history that they tried to, and it was rooted in hate, in this history they tried to bury. And he quoted his quote, he says, "We cannot state that all victim hats are Bolsheviks, but without victim hats, there would never have been Bolshevism. For a victim hat, nothing is more insulting than the truth." And that's very true. To these people, to these Edomites, to the wicked, nothing is more insulting than the truth. If you speak the truth, though, to them, they say you can't do that. They literally squirm. When you watch, there's videos of Christians, right, going over there, and they're trying to be nice and level with the victim hatters to get them to see that, get them to believe in the Messiah, right? But whenever you watch those videos, you'll notice one thing, that they deal with them with kid gloves. I mean, they lower themselves completely because they don't want to risk offending them, because it's very easy to offend them because all you have to do is say the truth. They're professional victims. When you speak the truth, they squirm. They literally do squirm. That's exactly how that guy, Vocab Malone, was when he did his little stream during the October 7th thing. I mean, he hurled at anybody who said or questioned anything. I mean, who even remotely looked like that they were saying anything to question really what happened there. He didn't allow it. He called you an anti-sim on his comment board. If the video's still up, you can go watch. I mean, he was watching that chat and he was lashing out on anybody who said anything that wasn't like, like, why should we care? Or, this isn't America's problem or something, anything like that. He called you anti-sim and he blocked you. You didn't even have to say anything. That's how he viewed it, because he got that same nature that's in him as well. You can't question, right? Don't question. And if you say anything that doesn't line up specifically with what we say, oh, then you're anti-sim. So now they're banning juice box emojis, because the juice box emoji, I think, was just a way of symbolizing your support for the Palestinian people. And you're not allowed to do that, because in their eyes, supporting another nation of people, to them, is translated as, oh, you must want me destroyed. That's the wicked. He's committing war and genocide to this day. But if you rally for the stop of the so-called war, and if you rally for those people that's getting slaughtered unjustly, to them that translates, because they're professional victims, that translates to, so you're saying you want me destroyed? That's the wicked. That's why they are in complete hiding. Their nature is weak. Their nature is fragile. They have thin skin. So speaking the truth or embarrassing them or whatever it is, to them, that's their highest priority, is to ensure their mental stability. To ensure their mental stability, they need people to stop speaking the truth. They need people to stop questioning things, because they take everything as a personal attack, because that's their nature. They are the wicked. They are Satan. Satan's strength. Satan moves, operates in the darkness via deception. The greatest enemy to that is the truth. That is why they can't deal with the truth. That's why people like Vocab Malone can't deal with the truth. They can't. Let me play this clip.
American Jews, what do you have to worry about? Your job is to make us look good. And here's how you do it. You have got to serve 2 or 3 years in the army of words. Don't let the war of words ever be fought about Israel's nature. Israel's nature. Let it be fought about why you can't accept Israel, why you have to single out this tiny people. Try to find Israel on the map. It's hardly there. You know, we used to play this game, Where's Waldo? Where is Waldo on the map? Are you going to really tell me that this is the country you want to blame? Push them, teach them how to defend by attacking, by attacking. You've got to do that. You've got to make demands on them. They've got to serve for 3 years in the army of words. The army of words.
And that's a mentor, right? She's outing the truth. And that's why she said in there, she's teaching her own people what? When you go out there, like a Ben Shapiro or whatever, you don't deal with truth. You don't deal with truth. You're a professional victim. When someone wants to question you, you play victim mode. She said, don't get into the army of words, meaning don't deal with the truth. Don't deal with the truth. Just play a victim, right? Anybody who wants to come and question and scrutinize, you don't discuss. You play victim. You act. Here's one of their strategies, right? And this is exactly what Vocab would do. They've already set if you go to question them, because even that guy Kirk did it the same thing. When you question them about anything, right? The first thing they're gonna say was Big H. I'm gonna say it like that. Was Big H a bad person? Did what Big H do? Was that wrong? Right? Was that wrong? And if you don't say it was, like, but that's how they shift the attention, right? You start to question them, even if you just deal with biblical terms. Okay, let's just deal with the Bible. Was it really prophecy fulfilled during 1948? They're gonna say, did what Big H did, was that wrong? And you're like, wait a minute, what that got to do with what I'm talking about? Tell me, was it wrong? What was he did was wrong? Was Big H wrong? And if your answer isn't yes, or however they want, they're gonna label you as a H denier. I'm sure you guys know what I'm saying. They're gonna say, "Up, you're H denier. Up. That we already laid the groundwork. That's anti-sim. You should lose your job. You should be canceled. We don't have to listen to anything you say." And that's exactly how they control the narrative. The moment someone goes to question them and scrutinize them, they'll just sit it back on you. Was what happened during that did Big H do was wrong? Was that wrong? And to them, that's how they got you, right? Because now, depending on your answer, if you try to argue the facts, which they won't allow you to do. If you try to argue what really happened, right, you can't do that. The only thing that matters is what they say. So that's how they do, and that's how they operate in person. That's exactly what vocab will do. Don't get it twisted. The moment you go to, because all their strategy is the same, man. Esau Edom is an open book. So the day that vocab Malone gets cornered, because he's gonna get cornered, okay, you can only run from the truth for so long about the 1948ers and prophecy and all that. He's gonna use Big H, and the other H. He's going to bring up that time to shift, and because they've already laid the groundwork. If you don't correctly just say yes, this, that, and that, right, then you're anti this, and we'll have to listen to you anymore. That's his strategy, okay? And it ain't gonna work. Come up over here. I'll tell you that right now. I know your game. I know you devil's game. You know, I've been waiting on this. I've actually been waiting on this day for a long time for the Lord to finally uplift Esau Edom's skirt and put these devils as the primary focus. I knew it was coming. I just had to be patient. And now that it's coming, I'm how do I say? I'm having a blast watching these devils squirm. And I know it's only a matter of time before YouTube gets the hammer. We already know that. But I thank the Lord every day that he's finally exposing these devils, because the truth itself is causing them to lose sleep. It's causing them to squirm. And this is the time for the truth. But as a quick precept on that, Psalms 12:4, who have said with our tongue, verse 3, the Lord Yahweh shall cut off all flattering lips and the tongue that speaketh proud things, who have said with our tongue we will prevail. Our lips are our own, and who is Lord over us? So that's how they say we don't have to deal with truth, because truth is an enemy to them. So how do they deal with truth? They don't. They don't do the army of words, because eventually they'll be found out. Eventually they'll be exposed. So what do? Play victim. They change the subject. Why are you picking on these people? Look at what they had experienced. This, that, and that. That's why a lot of people the topic gets touchy when those people are mentioned. They're not trying to deal with that. Like even Matt Walsh, that guy got cornered. There was this Asian student who questioned him. He said, "Okay, you claim you're for righteous, you're for what's right? How come every time when you do research you find out that it's one of these people that own it? What you got to say on that?" And he had nothing to say. He said, "Next question." Yeah, see, somebody comes up acting like, "Oh, I'm gonna speak the truth," and that. Even Kirk, "Oh, prove me wrong," this and all that. Okay, well, let's talk about this. Is you such a who's the one that's really behind this, or who owns this, or who owns that? What happened during the H? Was that behind? Is that wrong? Okay then. Right? Yeah. Whenever it comes to them, those people right there, touchy subject. But here's the beauty of it all. 2nd Ezra chapter 6. This is how you know it's talking about the end times. Verse 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. As for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared. The truth is now being declared. What does that mean for the wicked? They're in trouble. This is why they're doing what they're doing. Because as that quote said, to them, nothing is more insulting than the truth. The truth is now being declared on all four corners. starting with the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That is why you see these devils moving the way they are, because the truth is now being declared, and it exposes them in their fragile, weak, pathetic nature. They don't have the strength to withstand that. All they know is deception, lies, and force, which is what they're going to ultimately lead to. It's over for them. Simply because the truth is being declared, they're all squirming, they're all in hiding. 2nd Ezra 16, verse 49. Like as a whore envieth a right, honest, and virtuous woman, so shall righteousness have iniquity, when she decketh herself, and shall accuse her to her face, when he cometh that shall defend him that diligently searcheth out every sin upon the earth. Right, so we're in the time now where the righteousness is decking herself, and she's going to accuse iniquity to her face. Right? Like he said, as a whore envieth the right and honest, virtuous woman. So when righteousness stands up, which is the truth, and accuse the iniquity, accuse the wicked to her face with her own evil deeds, with her own wickedness, then she's going to be in a position where she can just she's in a bad position. So the point is, righteousness is now accusing the wicked to her face. The truth is now being declared, and that the truth is stronger. The truth is the strongest on the earth. So where does that leave the wicked? Where does that leave the nature of the wicked who dwell in lies? Where does that leave them when the truth starts to declare the truth and their wickedness to their own face? Where does that leave them? That leaves them with nowhere left to hide. And if they can't hide anymore, they're just going to do what they do best: lie, smear, take down, shut down the channel, shut down this, shut down that. You so much as breathe the wrong way, anti-Sem. All right, you so much as question anti-Sem. You know, you got to know the reason they're doing that is because their nature can't deal with it. They can't sustain themselves, knowing that people are speaking the truth behind them. They're hiding. They're always in hiding. They're in hiding right now. Even more so, they are in hiding. Like I said, you know, it's a reason they have. It's a reason they have the nature. They have these. They change their names for one. Why? So that they won't be recognized. And their most popular surgery in that land is what? Nose surgery. Why? Because they want to blend in. They want to walk. They change their names. They don't want to be spotted. They don't want to be outed. They don't want people to look up. Okay, who is this? Silverwitz. You know, and everybody in the room is gonna say, "Oh, Silverwitz." Okay, They don't want that. They want to flow. Why? Because they can't stand to be seen. They can't stand to be caught. They can't stand for the light to shine on the earth. They can't stand to be accused, which is not even accused. It's just speaking the truth. They can't deal with truth. This is why they're acting the way they are. It's over for them. That's why the Lord said the devil's going to come down with great wrath, because he had but a short time, and he knows it's over for him. It's over. The tricks ain't going to work no more. You can only get so far by means of force. In fact, the more you oppress, the more it speaks louder and louder. This must be the truth. You can't even type in the votes don't matter. You can't even say that no more. You're admitting it now that it is the truth. You see what I'm saying? It's over for these people, man. And that's what's going to lead him to come down with great wrath. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.